Things are getting a little bit feisty between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford because Canelo Alvarez was asked by an interviewer about the potential of fighting Terence Crawford. The interviewer asked Canelo, "Are you sick of hearing about Terence Crawford and, people asking about the fight between you and Terence?" And Canelo said, he knows he's a great fighter, but at the end of the day, he thinks that Terence Crawford only had one good win against Errol Spence Jr., and I just disagree with that simply. He fought Sean Porter, fought Kell Brook, fought Amir Khan, as Canelo did. So, I don't know. I think Terence Crawford's win over Errol Spence was bigger than any of Canelo's wins. What win has Canelo gotten? I guess the Triple G one. I don't know. Am I missing one? I think Terence Crawford is gonna go down as the better fighter between him and Canelo. Even though it was just one performance, to do what Terence Crawford did to Errol Spence in that fashion, that we've never seen Canelo really beat on someone, of that caliber. And I think Terence Crawford, he's number one pound for pound. And I didn't like hearing from Canelo Alvarez the talks about how he's only fought one person. Who else do you want him to fight to earn your respect? That was Errol Spence Jr. We have to remember not what happened only on July 29th, but who Errol Spence was before that fight took place. And I don't think Canelo is really giving Terence Crawford enough credit. And I think a big part of it is because it's becoming more realistic that Terence Crawford is going to fight him, because Terence Crawford has been vocal about wanting that fight. He's willing to go to 68, make the jump from 47 to 68. He doesn't even need the rematch clause. If it's activated like people are saying it is, then he'll do that, but he doesn't mind going up to 68 and fighting Canelo. He said that's actually the fight that he wants, and then he'd probably retire on that note. But I don't know. I didn't like hearing that from Canelo. You could just say, no, I'm not sick of hearing about it. It's a fight I definitely like to entertain in the future, and Terence Crawford's a hell of a fighter. Do what Floyd says. But I just didn't like hearing that he's kind of discrediting Terence Crawford and diminishing his career and his resume, because he has a good resume. Sean Porter was right there with Errol Spence Jr. in the welterweight division. Amir Khan, you have guys, Yorkis Gamboa, Kell Brook. There's a lot of fighters that Terence Crawford beat, and he stopped everybody in the welterweight division. So that says something, in my opinion, in my eyes. I don't agree with Canelo at all that he only has one good win. It was definitely his signature win. Maybe none of those fights are going to compare to what he did to Errol Spence Jr., but, in terms of his previous fights. But just that fight alone showed us everything we need to know about Terence Crawford and where he stands, within the boxing realm. Because Errol Spence was the truth. Errol Spence was the guy. He was the boogeyman of 147. Then Terence Crawford dismantled him, put a beating on him, and, stopped him. Stopped Errol Spence Jr. I don't think people are remembering it's Errol Spence Jr. He stopped him. Could have stopped him earlier. It was the 9th round, but it could have been stopped in the 4th or the 7th, in my opinion. The 7th is when I really thought it should have gotten stopped. So I don't agree with Canelo. Let me know if I'm off. Maybe I'm being too much of a Terence fanboy fresh off that win, and I have recency bias, but I just think Terence Crawford is going to go down as the better fighter. And for Canelo to say that he only has one signature win, against a good opponent, and the rest of them are lackluster, what's Canelo's accomplishments? Losing to Floyd, I think that's his biggest accomplishment. That's what everybody always talks about, right? His loss to Floyd and him learning so much, and then he went on his winning streak, beating guys that were good, but no one was on that level of Errol Spence Jr. You could argue Triple G maybe, but come on now. Errol Spence he had 3 of the 4 belts at the welterweight division, and then Terence Crawford is now undisputed. So I think Terence Crawford deserves all the credit in the world. And Terence Crawford said, you're delusional for thinking that Errol Spence is the only worthy fighter that he's ever fought, because it's just not true. The names I've listed off, there's so many good fighters that Terence Crawford has faced. His journey on Top Rank was unprecedented. What he did at 140 was also very impressive. So I really want to see that fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford now. I think there's going to be a little bit of animosity that could potentially build up and spark that, promotion for the fight, and the negotiation process could, stem from these kinds of scenarios. And Terence might want the fight even more, and Canelo might want the fight even more now that, there's kind of a beef developing. Let's not beat around the bush. These guys are taking little jabs at each other, indirectly, but it's still, getting out in the media and people, headline it. So Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, I think that's the next fight to make. I didn't like or agree with Canelo's comments saying that Terence Crawford only has one real good win against a good fighter in Errol Spence. He has a lot, especially, he just fought Sean Porter as well. So I think it's just the David Abenesian fight in between probably threw people off, but you can't discredit him just because of that. He was staying busy. He wasn't getting the negotiations weren't going his way with the Spence fight, but he eventually made it happen. So respect to Terence Crawford. Canelo, I didn't like that from him, but still two great fighters, and I hope the fight goes down, and I'd probably go with Terence Crawford in that fight between Canelo and Bud. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Terence Crawford calls Canelo delusional for saying that Terence only has one real good win against Errol Spence Jr. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. But thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Do all that good stuff. Hit that post notification bell so you guys never miss a thing, a post, an update. You don't want to stay, not up to date on what's going on in the boxing world. So thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
That's going to do it for another Naz Fight Media video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy, Matt Nabong, with another video. Hope you guys enjoyed it all. Thank you guys for the constant support. Salute to y'all always. It's been your boy.